GreatX is enabling every individual globally to own various asset classes in the form of digital assets. And they're currently bringing in an opportunity for people to own, earn, and trade on hotel rooms. In fact, there are 11,000 hotel rooms available for this. So with me, I've got the co-founders and board members of GreatX, a woman-led team. So that's great to hear as well. So Kim Diamond and Annalise Osborne to tell us a little bit more about this. So Annalise, what are GreatX tokens? Is this kind of like a REIT? Explain how it all works.
Sure. So I look at GreatX tokens as kind of an innovative way to buy a new or invest in a new institutional grade asset using digital assets. So if we look at different current investments, like a REIT, for example, REIT is a real estate investment trust. And that you're investing in shares of private or public, but into a pool of assets. And so you don't actually have the access to choose an individual asset. You can choose property types, but not an individual asset. If you're looking at crowdfunding, that's kind of a group of pooled investors. It's usually retail and smaller. They're less institutional grade. And one issue there is trust. Like there's usually a lack of trust with crowdfunding because you're not sure there's been fraud and different investment issues that have gone into that. Timeshares, I know, have been brought up too. Timeshares really are more of a vacation than an investment, so it's not really any of these. But what GreatX is offering it's offering you the ability to actually invest in a specific hotel. You can invest in a specific hotel, and then you get the income profits from that hotel.
I see. Interesting. So now, Kim, I mean, is every token that's issued by GreatX, is it protected?
Yes, absolutely. 100% of the tokens issued by GreatX are fully principal protected.
Okay. And then explain, like, how does that work? How are you able to guarantee that?
Of course. All of the tokens that are issued by GreatX are fully backed by 10-year U.S. Treasury bonds, which is one of the most secure investments that exists in the entire world. And for the entire duration of the token's life, those U.S. Treasury bonds are there to fully back the principal.
And then how is the value determined, and how does somebody get a payout or a dividend, so to speak?
So the value of the properties are determined annually. They're done via an independent appraisal. So either by an independent appraiser or an independent valuation firm. And all of the information is transparent. So all of the token holders will have access to the full appraisal report, along with all of the other financial performance information associated with that hotel on the GreatX site. These token holders do share in the cumulative value appreciation of the property, and the payout comes at the end of the investment period.
Okay, so let's say that I own a token in a hotel in Miami and a hurricane comes.
Yeah.
Then what?
Right.
What happens then?
So every single one of the assets is fully protected, fully insured against damage, destruction, condemnation. And not only is the property value itself protected, but you're also protected for a portion of the business income via business interruption insurance. So regardless of what happens to that property, investors will still get the minimum promised return.
And it would be the same case for a renovation project or something like that. Okay.
Exactly the same.
Interesting. And then, so is this kind of like a stable coin, or how is it different than other cryptocurrencies?
So stablecoin is generally backed or tied to the US dollar, for example. And they're a basket of goods usually that doesn't change in value. So GreatX is backed initially by a US Treasury, which actually earns interest. So it's not from the beginning, it's not actually a stable coin. And then on top of that, you're getting the revenues or the profits, your share of the profits for each hotel. So it's an investment in that sense. So there's limited downside, but you have upside potential.
It's kind of tied to the value of the property rather than the dollar or whatever the currency is. Now, crypto, very volatile. Does the fact that it is tied to a piece of real estate make that less volatile?
So looking at cryptocurrencies, so the US dollar is backed by the full faith and credit of the US government, right? A cryptocurrency, be it Ether, Bitcoin, there's 18,000 cryptocurrencies apparently. So they're actually not backed they're not backed by any sort of government or any sort of monetary or fiscal policy. So the value is the perceived value of what one thinks it would be. And so there's nothing necessarily to support that. What GreatX is, it's an actual asset-backed investment. So it's a digital token, but it's an asset-backed investment backed first step is the principal protection by the US Treasuries. And then the second step, it's actually backed by the ownership, economic interest ownership of the asset.
Okay.
So it's less. So the volatility you'll have will be the performance of the hotel to a minimum return. So your downside's protected and your upside is more open.
Now, could I hold the tokens in a digital wallet?
Yes, you can hold. It's an ERC format, and so any wallet that has capabilities for ERC, which is the Ethereum blockchain, and you'll be able to hold it in those.
And will they be listed on a crypto exchange?
We're currently negotiating. We're fully regulatory, so we are working within regulations globally about regulated exchanges, and we're currently currently speaking with a number of them. But we expect it to be listed on the most prominent exchanges.
Okay, very interesting. Annalise and Kim, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having us.
Appreciate it.